On the Chongsan side, they proceeded cautiously, afraid of alerting the zombies outside. However, on their way, they unexpectedly encountered Chongsan's mother. When Chongsan's mother saw Chongsan, she opened her bloody mouth and jumped at him. Chongsan was devastated witnessing this. In order to ensure the safety of the group, the students could only take action against Chongsan's mother. The noise they made instantly attracted the zombies around them, and they could only evacuate first. Chongsan looked at his mother in front of him and refused to leave. In the end, the crowd could only force him to pull him away. Simultaneously, the other group of 4 arrived at the scene. On Chongsan's side, as they were running, Hyosan tripped and fell. Jimin wanted to help her, but the approaching zombies from behind made her abandon the idea. Hyosan thought she was going to die for sure, but at the crucial moment, Hari's brother suddenly appeared and saved her life. Hari then skillfully took down the zombies around them with precise shots. At this moment, Jimin, who has escaped from the group, is surrounded by an army of zombies. Chongsan and the others make their way through the woods to the tennis court. Namare realizes something is wrong as soon as they enter and stops to warn them to run away. A bolt of lightning struck, and the crowd saw that a large wave of zombies had gathered at the tennis court, and they hurriedly fled in panic at the sight. At this critical moment, Mi-jin doesn't give up on the injured Junsong and tries to drag him away with her. At this moment, Junsong suddenly jumps off the trolley and fights off the zombies with all his strength to buy them time to escape. Junsong sacrificed his life for the safety of his companions. They managed to escape into the storage room of the tennis court. However, Min-jae got left behind and had to escape the swarm of zombies on his own. Similarly, Jimin, who had been separated from the main group, unfortunately got attacked by zombies and turned into one of them.
바이러스는 일정한 패턴이 있을 때 백신을 만들 수 있다.
Bayan-chan's research on the virus revealed that it was constantly changing and evolving, making it impossible to develop a cure. The only solution was to burn the host completely, leaving no trace of the virus. They were investigating Bayan-chan's research records to understand more. Meanwhile, the military learned that the infection had spread to Dongyang City and was considering expanding the quarantine area, which included the place where the students were heading, implying that they were planning to abandon Hyosan City. After a night, the zombie horde showed no signs of dispersing. Namare could smell the foul stench even through the door. Now that they're trapped here, Daesu takes this opportunity to confess to Hari. Hari is very calm after hearing this. Not only does he not feel moved, but Hari even kicks and punches Daesu. The whole storeroom is filled with the sound of their fights. Seeing a volleyball that fell on the ground, Suhayok came up with a plan. He suggested forming a circle with the carts and all of them huddling inside to defend against the approaching zombies. Everyone agreed to the plan and began to work on it. On the other hand, the researcher followed Bayan-chan's method and developed a virus that was 98% similar to the infected sample. In other words, Bayan-chan's experiments are true. If a person is infected, his heart will stop beating. Only this virus survives in the body and stimulates the infected's physical activity. The infected person they're seeing now is actually a living dead person, but the mutation of the asymptomatic infected person can't be explained yet. Maybe the only solution is to destroy the host. As Bayan-chan said, while they were making the preparations, soldiers reported that the infection had spread to Dongyang City, and the military had ordered a lockdown and dispatched troops to suppress the outbreak. On the tennis court, while making props, they found a bag of chocolates. It's past its expiration date, but it's a lifesaver for them. To make sure that everyone can eat it, they pass it around, each taking a small bite. Some had just eaten a short time before and gave the opportunity to others. With everything ready, they rush out of the gate together. Suhayok leads the way, with Hari assisting. After taking out the zombies around them, they quickly form a circle and push the trolley forward. When the zombies hear the noise, they all rush towards them, making it impossible for them to move forward. Faced with the swarming zombies, they had no choice but to deal with them first. During the fight, Mi-jin got accidentally pinned down by a zombie. When Junyang sees this, he tries to save her, but he gets bitten by the vampire. Junyang looks at his bitten arm for a moment and then jumps out of the safe zone to help them clear the roadblock. and Junyang is surrounded by zombies as a result.
이놈의 개새끼들아! 왜 밀어! 빨리 밀어! 가자! 집에 가자! 집에 가자! 조금만 더! 조금만 더! 밀어! 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 밀어!
On the other hand, experts analyze that if just one infected person breaks through the defense line, the whole of Seoul will fall in less than a week, so they have to take action as soon as possible. So the commander instructed the tactical team to prepare a battle plan to drop missiles on Hyosan. The commander doesn't want to do it, but if he doesn't, he'll lose the whole country.
PBC 지나가고 있습니다.
On the school side, with the help of Junyang's sacrifice, they managed to get to the exit, but the gate was locked and they couldn't open it no matter how hard they knocked. If they don't get out soon, they'll be dead. Just then, Soju successfully arrived at the school through a back path. Just as Anjo keeps banging on the door trying to get out in any way he can, the door suddenly opens and the visitor is none other than Soju. The moment she sees her father, Anjo immediately throws herself into his arms. Soju's heart hangs in the air and finally drops. At this moment, not only is Soju searching for them, but there is also GWI who seems to never die. Soju immediately led them towards the stadium, but a large group of zombies chased after them relentlessly. Upon entering the tennis court, they found themselves surrounded by zombies. The tennis court was quickly overrun by the undead. Soju ignited the prepared fireworks to create a diversion, allowing them to escape. But the fireworks soon burned out. In a critical moment, Soju instructed Chongsan to take on Joe and escape while he used a whistle to attract the zombies' attention, allowing the students to flee quickly. Soju locks himself in the tennis court as he has been bitten by the zombies, and all he has to do is to find a way for his daughter to survive. As the zombies swarmed him, Soju's last words were urging his daughter to run. Anjo and the others managed to escape to a building under construction. On the way, Namare suddenly stopped them and quickly led them to the second floor, warning that the workers inside had all mutated.
위로 가! 위로!
Namrera led them to hide on the balcony outside the house by his mutated abilities. The zombies are rampant inside the house and the group outside dare not make any noise. Anjo is saddened by her father's infection, and Chongsan takes her in his arms to comfort her. Infection with the zombie virus seems to be worse than death itself, because the virus turns man into a monster, a bloodthirsty, horrible demon. Meanwhile, GWINOM located the sports arena following the sound. However, the students had already left, leaving only Min-jae behind. The kind-hearted Min-jae doesn't know that GWINOM is a zombie, and warns GWINOM of the dangers outside when he's about to leave. GWINOM suddenly caught the scent of Chongsan on Min-jae and questioned him about it. To protect his classmates, Min-jae refused to reveal Chongsan's whereabouts. Angering GWINOM, GWINOM attacked Min-jae and continued to interrogate him about Chongsan's location. Min-jae claimed he was with his classmates and didn't know anyone named Chongsan. He seized the opportunity to stab GWINOM in the neck with a sword. To his surprise, GWINOM remained unharmed. Min-jae runs towards the bow and arrow, but he only shoots one arrow and can't shoot anymore because he's already started to mutate. GWINOM comes out of the gym and sees the zombies running towards the back of the mountain as if he understands something. At the same time, the military began testing the zombies' tolerance to sound, since they become highly sensitive to sound after turning into zombies. Loud noises could control them to some extent. They found that the zombies had the greatest response to 20 kHz sound waves. The commander decided to install sound wave emitters on drones to attract the zombies. When the zombies gathered at the target locations, they would launch missiles. There were 4 target points, including Hyosan High School. There are 170,000 people in Hyosan City. 110,000 have been excluded. 50,000 zombie casualties and 10,000 uninfected or asymptomatic casualties are expected. The commander ordered continuous evacuation broadcasts before launching the missiles. Namare had been hearing a voice in her head, urging her to bite her companions' necks. Not wanting to harm Suhayok, she resorted to biting herself instead. Suhayok looks at the wound on Namare's hand and tells her to bite him next time she has an attack. But Namare can't do it. The crowd was now trapped on the balcony with no chance of escape. But they didn't give up. At this moment, Namare suddenly hears a sound. It's a military broadcast for evacuation. The military warns the infected to leave the designated area to avoid being bombed. The news is a terrible blow to Chongsan's group. The military won't give up bombing just because of a few of them. The drones are already in action, and the zombies start following them. Leading the zombies to the designated area. Before they can think of a way to deal with the bombing, GWINAM finds them. GWINAM stomped on Chongsan and even Suhayok almost fell off when GWINAM punched him. Luckily, his classmates pulled Suhayok up, but Chongsan wasn't so lucky. He was tortured by GWINAM and even got bitten. When the drone reaches the airspace, GWINAM's hearing is suddenly impaired, and Chongsan drops GWINAM with a collision. The drones reach the designated area, and the commander orders the launch of missiles. Chongsan, knowing he will mutate because of the bite, decides to go out and lure the zombies away so his friends can escape. After Chongsan and Anjo kissed goodbye, he wasted no time jumping into the building, screaming about the zombies that attracted. Due to the building not being fully constructed, Chongsan stands on the other side and shouts loudly. The zombies, attracted by the sound, all fall down from the building. The companions took this opportunity to escape. The undefeatable GWINAM finds Chongsan again, and the two of them are fighting instantly. But Chongsan is no match for GWINAM and GWINAM beats him up. In order to avenge one glance, GWINAM pressed Chongsan and snapped his eyeballs. At that moment, a missile came up quickly towards them, and the zombies that had already gathered in the playground were instantly blown to ashes. At the last moment, Chongsan hugged GWINAM and disappeared into the fire together. By this time, his companions have already escaped successfully. After the successful launch of several missiles, the commander could not get back to his senses. After all, that was tens of thousands of lives. After a long time, the commander handed over the command to his men and told them to prepare for tomorrow's search. Then he said he was tired and had to go to bed. The commander walked out of the war room and came to the counselor, hoping that the counselor would convey his apologies to the citizens of Hyosan. After completing all of these actions, the commander returned to his room, put on his military uniform, and made a phone call to his wife. Subsequently, he took his own life by shooting himself with a firearm. After all, so many lives had perished under his command, and he felt that he could only appease the spirits of the people of Hyosan City by sacrificing his own life. At the moment of the commander's death, all the zombies in Hyosan City were suddenly eradicated. The city becomes eerily quiet, filled with a heavy atmosphere. Jaek ponders the idea that for the majority to survive, is it acceptable to resort to extreme cruelty? Unfortunately, no one can answer this question. The survivors of the school looked at the fire behind them and couldn't find peace in their hearts. After all, Their lives were bought with the lives of their friends. They could walk away now, but they can't, because there is still a glimmer of hope in their hearts that there is a miracle, that Hyosan is still alive. But hope is just hope. Back in the building, Namare couldn't smell anything human, and all they could do was say goodbye. The group set off again and moved on, but it wasn't long before they realized they were lost. A yellow strip of cloth on a nearby branch seemed to be pointing them in the right direction. They followed the direction of the cloth. Soon, Anjo noticed a flashlight with her father's name on it. It became evident that these cloth strips were intentionally left behind by her father for her. They soon arrived in Donyang City, but the atmosphere here wasn't too good either. It was a bit scary quiet. Suddenly, Namare stopped in her tracks and saw a large group of zombies rushing towards them. They ran for their lives. The boy in the back falls, which makes them change their minds. They decided that running away wouldn't solve the problem and opted to confront the zombies head-on. They grabbed their weapons and got ready to fight. After a short period of calm, a large wave of zombies appeared and they immediately went into battle. The fight was extremely challenging. Hari's brother is torn by the zombies to protect Hari. Seeing that his mutated brother Hari can't do anything, Namare doesn't hesitate to finish him off. Now was not the time to grieve. There were still many zombies on the road. Hari was ready to fight the zombies to the end, but Namare tells Hari not to make a fearless sacrifice. Looking at Hari's bleeding place, the desire to eat blood erupts inside Namare, who hurriedly looks away and tries to restrain himself. As they set off again, Namare deliberately walked at the end of the line. The urge to bite was too much to contain, and Namare wanted to eat her friend in front of her. Namare tried to restrain himself and bit himself, but the hunger was still there. Soon Suhyak realizes that Namare has fallen behind and Anjo goes back with him to look for him. They are shocked to see Namare eating a zombie corpse. Anjo tries to calm down and calls Namare to come with him. Namare suddenly runs towards Anjo and pushes her down on the ground as if he's going to eat her. Suhyak was unsure of what to do. He didn't want to see his friend die, nor did he want to harm Namare. Anjo gives up her resistance and tries to let Namare release her, but Namare stops at this moment. Her remaining sanity tells her that the person in front of her is a friend. Namare knows she can't stay with her friend anymore and runs away crying. Anjo and Suhyak immediately go after her, but Namare has already disappeared. Anjo and Suhyak followed the brigade onwards and soon reached the control area. Thinking back on all the bits and pieces along the way, and all the friends lost, not one of them smiles. Since they came from the same place as Byanchan, the military asked them to assist in the investigation and conduct interrogations. Anjo's words best represented their feelings at the moment. "We won't make any requests of you, and you don't have to ask us to help with the investigation." Following that was a period of calm isolation. Unable to stop thinking about his friend, Anjo climbed over the fence every night to see if there was a miracle. That night, a miracle did occur. Anjo saw a fire on the roof of the school. After dawn, Anjo told Suhyak about it. Namare had said that if they were to meet again, they must relight the bonfire. Anjo suspects that Namare lit the fire, so she decides to check it out tonight. Suhyak really wants to go too, but Suhyak apologizes to Anjo first. After all, he didn't do anything when Namare jumped on Anjo. Anjo didn't blame Suhyak, knowing that she would have made the same choice in his position. Before leaving, Anjo asks Suhyak not to tell anyone about the bonfire because it's dangerous. As night fell, Anjo came to the fence and froze. Everyone was there and no one was missing. They climbed over the fence and saw that there was a fire in the direction of the school. They set off immediately. When they passed the place where Hyosan died, Anjo was sad. Back at the school they hadn't seen for a long time. The place was in ruins. They went all the way to the rooftop. There was a fire, but no one was there. Who could have lit it? Then a figure appears, and it's really Namare. Anjo wants to take Namare away, but she can't. There are other students like her. A few ran outside the school and a few stayed. Namare isn't human and can't go back with Anjo and the others, but she's not a monster either. Despite the distance, they were still good friends. Namare suddenly looked into the distance and said, "They're coming," and jumped off the rooftop. Everyone looked in the direction where Namare disappeared and recalled her words. That's right, although a lot of things have changed, one thing remains the same. They'll always be good friends. This is the end of the full story of Zombie Campus. Thank you very much for watching. We're looking forward to the second season.